All right.
Buzzwords.
So one thing you mentioned though was although Matt isn't of course on this call, one of our podcasts, one of the ones that we wanted to go over, Marvel recently at their recent panel mentioned phases 5 and 6
And the
coming
conclusion
up
of
in the next
4.
couple of years. So woof, that's a lot. Um, to close out Phase 4, though, they are releasing Black Panther the Black Panther sequel, Wakanda Forever. Now be the final installment of the franchise's Phase 4, and while Ant-Man and the Wasp movie Quantumania will then begin Phase 5. So that comes out February 17th, 2023, followed by Secret Invasion, which is an upcoming TV show on Disney Plus, spring 2023, followed by the third and final, as it was announced by James Gunn, the director of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, May 5th, 2023. Another Disney Plus show called Echo. This will follow Maya Lopez, who was a major character in the Hawkeye series, for those who hadn't seen it. Um, Season 2 of Loki, summer 2023. And then The Marvels, July 2023. It's of course it is a sequel to Captain Marvel. Blade actually is coming out in November 2023. A animated show called Ironheart is going to Disney Plus in fall 2023, and then this is a spin-off series of Agatha Coven of Chaos, a Disney Plus show, spin-off show of WandaVision. Uh, Daredevil Born Again, spring 2024. Charlie Cox is, of course, reprising his role as Daredevil, as it's a TV show. It sounds like he made his reappearance in Spider-Man No Way Home, and that was a very cool surprise to see. This one caught my attention for sure. May 3rd, 2024, Captain America New World Order. Love the name of the movie alone. That sounds pretty awesome. Um, I don't know what to expect from this, if this is a movie or what this is. Thunderbolts, July 26th, 2024, and that will end Phase 5 alone. So, yeah, 12 projects alone in Phase 5.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
And at least none of them are potential for 2023. That's a lot in 1 year. That's
Yeah,
too much. That's almost too much.
I think that's way too much, honestly. And this is something that we talked about last time when Matt was on the podcast. Honestly, just do less content.
Yeah.
I get it. It's gonna make a lot of money, a lot. You're gonna get merchandise, apparel, action figures, toys, games, all that stuff. Sure, whatever. But at the same time, that's a lot of content getting released, and it
It's
this is although some of these ideas are very unique and cool, and some of them I'm actually genuinely interested in. I just hope that they can actually deliver on some of these. But I think starting point wise, going into each of these, I'll probably expect a 7 out of 10 kind of thing at like as an average score just going in. Maybe even a
yeah.
6.5, just because for Marvel to be doing this as long as they have been since 2008. I mean, it's been 14 years, and just finally their content is kind of slowly but surely
Yeah.
dropping.
Yeah. I keep
They're
coming
going
back to
down a
this.
long
I
hill.
keep coming back to this analogy of at some point the well is going to dry up. And you can
Yeah,
keep tapping the well for as much water as you want.
they're
But
going to keep
the
drilling that hole
more,
to find oil.
yeah, but the more you try pumping out, the less water you're going to have to be able to get from before it's depleted.
Yeah.
And I actually have, and the reason why I wanted to bring it up, I'm curious your thought of this, is because to me, outside of maybe the first kind of few things coming out between the end of 4, the beginning of 5, which is the Ant-Man, Guardians, and obviously Wakanda Forever.
Yeah.
Um, I have no interest in any of these really.
No,
And at the
I'll
end of
put it this
26
way:
and end
the
of
show
26, you
Echo.
got two more Avengers movies. And
Yes.
it starts with Fantastic Four, which I guess is going to be like the 100th version of Fantastic Four.
Yeah,
And
and
why should
again,
it's what? It's the 100th times the charm. Is that it?
or apparently, so you make a great point, and that's also why I never wanted the X-Men to make an appearance in the MCU. Same thing with the Fantastic Four. You've already done this several times. You've already made several movies. You've
Yeah,
done
and
a couple
I
reboots
think they're
here and
also
there,
talking
and
about bringing back some of the other Netflix shows that were Marvel based. I'm like,
yeah, and kind of make them canon based,
yeah,
which
kind of like
whatever. But
Daredevil, but I mean,
right,
there's just a lot there that I'm just not that interested in.
right, I agree. So
And even Blade, I'm not really that interested in either, even though that's a
Blade,
little,
I like the idea of it. It's just something
yeah.
I've never been interested in. Now, the ones I am more interested in is the Kang Dynasty. That's going to be cool. But that's
Mm-hmm.
not until 2025.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, and
yeah, it is a lot of
I
content.
kind
But
of
again,
have a because there's so much content coming out, especially within the next calendar year. Uh, I think at some point, and this is my bold prediction, if you're are familiar with our Wimmer Quick hockey podcast, I do these fairly often with sports. I'm going to do one with Marvel. And I think by 2024, they will either have a flop, a bomb, whatever you want to say it,
mhm,
in one of these movies or series. And not in the sense that fans, but fans hate it or critiques, bash it. I'm saying, because you were saying it would make them money. I'm actually saying it's not one of these things are not going to make them that much money. And that's when something's going to kick. And either they're going to try to either panic or adjust to it. And I hope it's the adjust, not panic. Because
that's also
my hope
why, yeah,
is that when you get to those Avengers at the end of Phase 6, you stop with these because we talked about it last time with Matt when he had him on. That you stop with these story arcs, kind of going through movie to movie to series that you have to pay attention to, and just go back to just standalone stuff and say for
right,
like 2-3 years, all right, and you'll probably have to announce this because Marvel fans really like those end credit scenes. But if you're doing standalone things, you'll have to be sure like there's going to be nothing at the end of this. It's just credits.
right,
Just don't get your hopes up. And at least for 3
exactly,
years, we're just going to do some standalone stuff
right.
so we can all get a little bit of
This is a little bit of a break.
a break. And if it's just like 3 things to come out, like 2 series, one comes out like spring, fall, and one movie around like summer or like Christmas time.
That sounds
That's
good.
a little more.
I'll be good with that.
Yeah, that's it's
So
something.
here's the other thing. So going to your bold prediction. Honestly, I think
I'm just saying if
towards the
all these.
middle, right.
Sorry, continue your point. Sorry.
I would say towards the middle, if not towards almost the end of Phase 5, you are going to see some fans completely burnt out, and so I definitely agree with you on that. I think
Like
I
to
don't know
me at
anything
least, I
about
feel like it's already kind
Thunderbolts.
of starting.
It definitely is, but I think that's when you're going to see the peak. But it's going to really like dive down even deeper. I think what's going to cause the beginning of that. I don't mean to be that kind of person, but really, I think the movie The Marvels is what's going to do it
The
because
Marvels.
the way this one website that has the nice list of it, Polygon.com, the sequel to Captain Marvel will be directed by Nia DaCosta. I guess he directed Candyman. Never, don't know what that is. And we'll see the
Scary
first meeting of
movie. You wouldn't
Kamala
like it.
Khan with her idol Carol Danvers after near miss in Miss Marvel. So again, and that was another show that literally had zero interest in the one show that just came out on Disney Plus, Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
The only thing I know about her character is the new, or sorry, not new, the old game for PS4 for they came out. Sony came out with their own Avengers game for PS4. I was excited. The gameplay, like the action and sequences, I thought it was cool looking. The story itself and the characters, they looked blank. Like literally, you had now. I think we talked about this before. Like, most of the time, I like it when you come up with like video game characters, for example, that are original and
Yeah, yeah,
creative
yeah.
and everything,
Hmm.
and not ones that are taken directly from TV shows or movies. Usually, I like that. In this case, like you've already established these major characters, so you can do it for if you can do it for like sports games, why not for something like this? Because like the quote unquote Captain America character looked nothing like Chris Evans' Captain America. No one looked remotely like the closest character that looked like themselves was Bruce Banner, or was Mark Ruffalo's Bruce Banner. And even then, he didn't look like him a whole lot. Now it's like if you're, so that was part that it took away from me. The other part of it that I had a major problem with that one is they introduced this character, Kamala Khan's character, who calls herself Miss Marvel. I understand she's a comic book character. I understand that. I still hate the idea, and I think it's kind of ridiculous that this one, character gets these superpowers and everything, and she calls herself, Captain Marvel Jr. while has the powers of Mr. Fantastic, and I think that's kind of a ridiculous,
Yeah.
idea for a character. Don't get me wrong. I have no issues against the show itself or the star lead for that show. I think she's a wonderful actress. I just have no,
Interest, yeah. It's
I
kind of
have
like
no interest
it's kind of like
whatsoever.
She-Hulk. Like I have,
She Hulk, I
it
think,
looks
looks
terrible,
ridiculous. It looked awful. It's such a dumb idea. It's like,
and that's why I'm
oh,
like, if you
it's like
keep
it's not
coming,
even. It's ridiculous. It's like the show. The title of the show. It's like She Hulk, lawyer by day. I'm like, what does this have to do with anything? It's ridiculous.
yeah, and it's like it's at that point, like if you keep having these subpar things, I know when we did our, and you can check it out on our Underachievers podcast YouTube page, our thoughts on Thor: Love and Thunder. You, I think, kind of like how I was with Spider-Man, the latest one, where
Mm,
you kind of had higher expectations for it,
yeah,
and it didn't meet them really. And I feel like if they keep having these subpar kind of movies or
right.
series like She-Hulk or something like that, at some point you will are going to start having people not interested in your products.
Yeah, and